on today's episode of Fat and Jobless.
So, welcome to Fat and Jobless, or as I like to call it, Let's Make Something. Not to be confused with How It's Made, one of the best shows I've ever seen as a kid, and God, I wish they would bring that type of stuff back. Now, I spent the last 2 weeks trying to figure out how to start this series because honestly, I didn't really have much yet, and I didn't want to be all too technical about everything. I thought about whether or not I should finish the game first and then script every episode accordingly, or do one thing at a time and then make a script about that, or maybe I should have disappeared for another 6 months and then make a video titled Why I Quit Programming. And considering this is my ambience lately, I really need a place to move out to, so it's time we get to publishing something before my apartment debugging session turns out to be a hostage situation or I get involved with some type of shady deep web crime. So from today onward, I have exactly one rule, which is the rule I've been having on my channel for a long time, and that is we'll make it not perfect, but we're gonna make it so it can be published. Because the biggest thing that will stop you from building your own projects is yourself. It isn't the framework, the language, or the architecture, it's that your projects never seem to leave your computer, and you never seem to ask money for anything you do. Progress beats perfection every single time, guys. So I would like to invite you that as I'm making this series, you start working on your own projects. Not after it's finished, not until you tweak that last little part in your song right now. Publish something and then tell people I told you to do it. Because if I get away with looking crazy online, you will get away with publishing something that's maybe not that perfect. My hope, of course, is to stop talking too much about programming and actually get to building a product and publishing it. No matter how many episodes this is going to take, at least we're going to end up with something that represents a game in some way. So what is Gemclicker? Because before I tell you what I've done the last 2 weeks, it's actually maybe a little useful to know what we're doing here. So my project is Gemclicker. At its core, it's a cozy fantasy browser game about 3 things: gathering, crafting, and trading. Everything else is kind of built on top of these 3 pillars. For the prototype, I'm going to keep it deliberately small because if gathering, crafting, and trading isn't fun, then really all of it will fall apart to begin. Now, that's not to say that this project in particular is like original. We all know that clicker and idle games are loved by a lot of people, and my question really is, how far can you take that? So why Blazor? Because originally, Gemclicker was never supposed to be a browser game. In my head, games had clients. You downloaded them, installed them, and maybe there was a launcher that somehow always needed updating. Now, that's just how I imagine games, but while experimenting with Blazor, I built this. It doesn't look like much, it's just an inventory, but this tiny prototype completely changed how I thought about the project. The drag animation is in JavaScript, the game logic is in C#, and the server decides whether the move is legal. Every connected browser immediately updates, and the UI is really just rendering whatever the server says exists. And that separation immediately felt right, because I wasn't thinking in terms of front end and back end. I was just able to just build the game. If something belongs to the browser, JavaScript can handle it. And if it's game logic, that all stays inside of C#, exactly where I wanted it. So the more I was working on this in Blazor, the more I built, the less this started feeling like a game built in Blazor. And the more it started feeling like a really, really interactive web application that just happens to be a game. Maybe by the end of the project, I'll finally be able to say, I know Blazor now. There's another reason I really fell in love with this approach. Deployment, or more accurately, not having to think about deployment. I don't have to convince people to download a launcher. I don't have to decide whether I should publish on Steam or some other place. I don't have to worry if someone is on Windows, Mac, or Linux, or whatever smart fridge or toaster they're running games on these days. They just open the website, they log in, and they start playing. And that's it. I just love that. And for the kind of game that I want to build, that's really powerful. The architecture felt right. And once I had that and had a pretty solid design in Figma, it was finally time to build the first real feature, authentication. The first decision was actually pretty simple. I didn't want passwords, I didn't enjoy creating password rules, and I don't enjoy password reset pages that tell me I can't use the password it just told me wasn't my password. And most importantly, I don't really enjoy storing user information, let alone their passwords. And passkeys just seem to solve a lot of this. Your device creates a public and private key pair, the private key never leaves your device, and the server only stores the public credentials. And the next time you log in, it's just one button, you click it, and boom, you're in. So there you have it. I have some fancy artwork, a slightly functional login system. In the next video, I'm going to be talking a bit more about vertical slices, and we're going to be implementing our first active, connected client to the game. Honestly, I'm looking forward to it, so if you've made it this far and you're still entertained, I highly recommend you to check out my Patreon and help me keep making videos just like this, and in the future, even better ones. Thank you a lot for watching, and until next time, let's go build something.